Hey boys and girls, have you ever been so anxious that you just can't wait any longer? Like when you're waiting for mommy's fresh baked cookies to come out of the oven, or when you're waiting for your best friend to come over to play, but why isn't he here yet? All right, did your parents ever tell you that a watched pot never boils? Or maybe they said, good things come to those who wait. You've probably learned that sometimes you need to have a little bit more patience, right? Since patience is a virtue and you're learning Mandarin, you'll be happy to hear that there's a Chinese saying that's very similar to a watch pot never boils. Actually, there's several with slightly different meanings. So today, we're going to review and practice some of them together. First, there's the Chinese saying, 心急吃不了热豆腐. Let's say that again. 心急吃不了热豆腐, which means a hurried heart can't eat hot tofu. Now, tofu is a special food in China that requires slow and careful cooking. And if you rush tofu, it won't taste good. So this is saying if you're too impatient or rush too much, things won't happen the way you want. So this saying, 心急吃不了热豆腐, reminds us to take time, whether it's making a meal or waiting for something special to happen. Now, the direct way to suggest someone to have more patience is 急不得. All right, let's say that again. 急不得, which directly translates into you can't rush it, reminding them that rushing the process will ruin the outcome. You can say this almost in any conversation. Hey, 急不得, which means you can't rush it. All right. You might hear parents say to their kids in Chinese, 要有耐心. All right. So this literally translates into you must have patience. So just a note, you shouldn't say this to a friend or colleague because it would feel like you're lecturing them, and no one likes to be lectured. Now, if you want an idiom, then practice saying 水到渠成. Let's say that again. 水到渠成, which translates as when the water flows, a channel is formed. 水到渠成 means when the time is right and the conditions are ready, success will naturally follow. All right, and finally, my favorite Chinese saying about having patience and being optimistic is 船到桥头自然直. Let me try that again. 船到桥头自然直. All right, that's actually a little bit of Chinese tongue twisters there. So let's do it one more time. 船到桥头自然直. All right, so this means when the boat gets to the bridgehead, it will naturally straighten. So you get the imagery of boats sailing towards a narrow bridgehead, and as it converges, it will naturally straighten out in order to get through. Culturally, you're reminding someone, don't worry too much. Things will work out on their own when the time comes. 船到桥头自然直 comes up often in everyday situations in China, especially when comforting someone who's anxious about something, which Chinese people frequently are. All right, so let's review the various ways to express in Chinese a watch pot never boils or good things come to those who wait. The first one we learned is 心急吃不了热豆腐. A hurried heart can't eat hot tofu. 心急吃不了热豆腐. All right, the next is 急不得. 急不得, which simply means if you rush, you might ruin it. All right, now the next is 要有耐心, which translates into you must have patience, but again, this is something a parent is likely to say to a child. 要有耐心. All right, next is the Chinese idiom. 水到渠成. 水到渠成. This idiom means when the time is right and the conditions are ready, success will naturally follow. And finally, 船到桥头自然直。船到桥头自然直, which means things will work out on their own when the time comes. All right, so please let me know in the comments which Chinese phrase or idiom is closest to a watch pot never boils and which is closer to good things come to those who wait. And if you like this type of video, just leave me a like, subscribe, and maybe even hit that notification bell. We have new videos dropping every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday morning just for kids.